It's a wide state.
A lot of space, it is.
When I interviewed Willie Neal, he said, we are the rose capital of the world. I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yes. It's the rose capital of the world.
Wow.
I guess certain parts of Texas has the where they grow roses. Tyler, yeah.
Yeah, that's where Richard lives.
Really?
Yeah, he lives in Tyler.
My God, both of you. Take me back to Fort Worth. Bedell Goldsmith. Who is that?
He was like my father. God called him home last year, and I was really hurt because I couldn't go to his funeral. And all the people were looking for me, but I was in the hospital with a hip replacement, and my doctor would not release me to travel. But Bedell Goldsmith house was the house when the Clouds met up, and two of us met in junior high school. We would go to his house every Tuesday and every Thursday to rehearse. He loved the Mighty Clouds like I do, and like Brother Wallace does.
Was he white?
And Big Five.
Was he a white gentleman?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I heard that name Goldsmith.
Bedell Goldsmith. He's from Mobile, Alabama. His wife is she's still alive.
Really?
Sister Goldsmith. She's just like my mom. And she used to make us a pie every time we went to rehearsal. I couldn't wait and she made that very rare pie. What was that pie, Richard? That very few folks can really make it. Egg custard. She was an expert and still can make them. But Bedell Goldsmith played the guitar.
Oh, he was a musician.
He was a musician. He wasn't that good, but he loved what he did. He tried to teach us the right way.
He had an ear for music.
An ear for music, and he could play a few songs, and we learned how to really live and carry ourselves because we had a great respect for him. And everybody right today in Los Angeles, California, if you're into gospel, you know about Bedell Goldsmith. We call him Brother Goldsmith.
Huh.
Yes.
I understand some rehearsal went on at your parents' home too. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Your parents. Tell me about your mom and dad.
My dad was a singer. He had a quartet.
Who did he sing with?
Locally, and that's why I know God wanted me to move from Alabama to somewhere where I could be heard, by people who own record companies, people who had studios, people who wrote music and produced music. Mm-hmm. My dad was as great a singer as anybody singing today, including myself. That's where I got mine from. His daddy was a preacher. And one night, Clown's Fountain and the Blind Boys were singing in Alabama. They were young men then, and I was like...
Were they Happy Land singers?
You're right.
Okay.
I was like about 10 years old, and my dad said, I'm going to hear the Blind Boys tonight. You want to come? I said, yeah. He took me to the concert. I met Clown's Fountain, George, and all those guys, Alice, when I was like 10 years old, and George remembers it. I went up, I talked to George, I was scared to talk to Clowns, but I did talk to George. And I told my dad that night, I want me a quartet from 10 years old. And I prayed and asked God to give me a quartet. And thank God, he didn't just give me a quartet. To me, he gave me the quartet.
Yeah. Your dad, did he ever record with this group?
Never recorded. They didn't have, in Troy, Alabama, there was no record companies doing gospel music. Mm-hmm. And I thought, after I got old and realized what a voice he had, but never had that opportunity. So that's why I said, I got to run. I got to, somebody in the Ligon or Ligon's family got to keep this music alive. And God just gave me a mind to go where my uncle lived. I knew California was big. I knew I would meet producers, singers, people that in this music. And I went, and perhaps my second week, in junior high school, I met another member in the Mighty Clouds, and we started from there.
Who were the Flowers of Joy?
Flowers of Joy was also Goldsmith group. Mm-hmm. He had the Flowers of Joy, and he had the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Yes. You
were in the background at first.
I was. One night, I was talking to a couple of my older members about that a few weeks ago. I went to rehearsal, And at a certain time, we would be through rehearsing and everybody could leave. And this other lead singer at that time, he's still around. He's not singing anymore. He was singing this song, and he couldn't get the part right. Me, and I guess God had it planned all the time.
Always.
I jumps out of the background, the tenor singer. I said, let me show you how it goes. And I did it. Bedell, God bless him, was sitting over there listening. He had that ear. When he heard me singing lead, when we were through, he said, talk real funny. From now on, you going to be the lead singer. I said, what have I got myself into? But I thank God for that.
So
but that's how that happened.
While you were down there in Texas with the Mighty Clouds of Joy, then I read somewhere where you defected for a hot second and joined up with the Sensational Wonders.
I did. I really did. That was the group that Elmo sang with. We're all from different local groups in Los Angeles. He was with his relatives. Was that in Texas, or did that happen out in? No, that happened in Los Angeles.
Okay. When did you leave Texas? When did you all decide, enough of this, we're going to California?
I left Alabama. I went to California first.
You were born in the Red Hills of Alabama.
Troy, Alabama.
Down there with Inez Andrews and
right, Claude Jeters from down there, Clarence Fountain,
Alex Bradford
from down. Yeah, great in the R&B popular field, and Nat King Cole.
That's
from
right.
down there. We had great baseball players, Willie Mays.
That's right.
All from down there. A lot of wonderful people left Alabama and did well. And but I moved from Alabama to Los Angeles, where I met with the other members.
Where did Texas come in at?
Texas came later. California was so far from everything, so when we went on the road regular, we said, well, we need to be more centrally located. And I met a young lady in Beaumont, Texas, that I wanted to make my wife. She didn't like California.
Really?
No. So I built a house in Texas, and I've been there ever since.
Now, you all out of high school at this point, right?
Yes.
Young adult, 19, 20, 21 years old.
Right.
Did you have jobs? I mean, you just took a leap of faith and said, well, we're going to hit the road?
Well, I had like a part-time job. I would help make the salads, the coffee, and all that stuff at the racetrack. I had a light job because I kept telling them this is a good thing to kind of touch upon. I kept telling my boss they wanted me to they were going to send me to school to be a chef. One of my best friends, he went on and he became the chef at Hollywood Park, Santa Anita racetrack. I said, well, I don't want to get that far off into it. I'm just going to be working for a while. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be on television. Had this faith even then. I said, I'm going to do all of that. And they said, yeah, okay, go make some more coffee. You know, they didn't believe me. So God be the glory. I left, when made my first record, which was Still Away to Jesus, went on the road.
That was not your first record.
Oh, no. I mean, that was the major. Yeah, you're right. I know you know what's going on. But anyway, when Still Away to Jesus came out, and a few other records on Peacock Records, I began to this was my local Mighty Cloud.
Who are those people? I don't recognize nobody.
Right.
I've just
me. You recognize me?
Yes.
Yeah. That's me right there, the good-looking one.
I see the good-looking one
right
at the top there on the left.
That's Bedell Goldsmith right there.
That's him.
That's him.
To our listeners, because we're not on television, I have to I've just handed him probably a collector's item.
It is.
I don't know if you've ever seen it before or not, but that's yours. But
thank you.
This is their first recordings on Proverb label, and then a few on Hob, and then, of course, they made their major step, hooked up with Don Roby down there at Peacock in Texas. But these are their and they've got this picture on the cover. Now, I didn't recognize this. You look like you probably were the youngest one on that picture, according to what it looks like.
Yeah, I look the youngest. Some of the rest of them are around, they are around my age, but I do look the... Now, a lot of people are not going to recognize him, but that's Johnny Martin, the big guy.
Is that the one that's called Bunker or something?
Not Bunker Hill.
He
was with the Sensational Wonders. That was a group that would steal me every now and then, and I'd go on tour with them.
Wasn't there Franklin's with them too?
Hermit Franklin, Elmo Franklin, were all Sensational Wonders.
Okay.
And they knew me from singing with this is my original group.
Oh.
They knew